Hey there, it's Kate back here today. And if you don't know who I am, gee, I am a Christian speaker. I'm a singer songwriter. I'm an actress, a life coach, health coach, and I'm also the mum of 12 kids. And yes, you did hear me right on that one. So it gives me a lot of experience with negative situations and finding clarity in them. Today, I'm going to follow on from yesterday when we were discovering clarity. And I'm going to some situations where the truth can become lost in what your mind is perceiving to be a negative situation that is going to cause you stress. So it comes up with all these buffers or thoughts and things trying to protect you from the ultimate realization or taking the correct action around the circumstance that happened. Getting clarity around negative situations, it can be a little bit challenging, but I'm going to give you some ways today that can help you in that situation when you want to find solutions, reduce your stress, reduce that, that feeling that you get right in the pit of your stomach where you don't know whether that's fear, excitement, anxiousness, whatever, but it's not great. And it makes you feel uncomfortable and sometimes can even make you feel like you want to sit down and cry, throw up your hands, throw in the towel and give up. Well, here's some ways that you can actually, when you receive some news or a situation happens that is, yes, just one of those punch in the gut moments. And I know that all of us have had those. And guess what? We're going to have another one. So isn't it better to be prepared for that and find clarity and truth in what actually is going on instead of what your mind wants to perceive is going on? First thing you do is you step back and take a breath, because when our mind hears something that is slightly on the negative side, it goes into defense mode. It goes into the place where it's going, don't listen, don't listen. Oh, no, that's horrible. And sometimes we actually don't even hear what is said, which is why, if you're going to the doctors for a very important visit, it's always good to take somebody with you, because quite often your mind filters out what it doesn't want to hear, sometimes filters in only the negative things and doesn't actually get the whole truth going on here. So give yourself an emotional distance. Taking a deep breath can do that, and just step back from the situation. The way I do this is I quite often think of it, somebody else. I put myself into, okay, what if this is my friend and I'm looking in on this situation? What does that look like now to me? So stepping back is a really, really good thing to actually do. Identify your emotions. Take that moment to recognize and acknowledge emotions without judgment. All emotions are okay. We have emotions, and it's okay to feel them, and it's okay to express them. And how you express them, if you understand them and understand how you're feeling, that's the first step to getting clarity around a situation or circumstance that seems to be fearful. Write it down. If you're going to an appointment where you've got a lot of fear or anxiety or worry, even if it isn't perceived to be negative, but I don't know if you're like me, every time I go to the doctors, I don't know, my brain goes, oh, we're going to the doctors, and I see that blood pressure machine, and I have what's called white coat syndrome. And no matter how many meditations I do and how much I tell myself it's all okay, somehow or other, once every 3 times they go, have you taken your medicine today? So our brain perceives things that not necessarily we are trying to make happen. Our brain is bringing up stuff and creating situations. So writing this down can be a powerful tool. Write down your thoughts and feelings and the details of the situation. I've started to do this with regards to just going to the doctors, and it clarifies to me that the doctors isn't a scary place. I don't even know where my brain got that from, but it did sometime. And the truth is, yes, I keep telling myself I'm going to do an AFT around that. And that is an aroma freedom technique that I am qualified to do, which uses essential oils to get rid of blocks and things that are stopping you. And that's been on my bucket list for a while. So writing this down today for me might be a really good idea. But it also externalizes your thoughts and helps you see what you're thinking more objectively. When we keep things in our inner world, it can expand to greater than it should be. And if we're focusing on something good, that's great. But if we're focusing on something negative and we're keeping it all inside, then more thoughts and more thoughts and more thoughts and more thoughts are joining that first negative thought. And it is becoming a huge problem that you don't need. So writing down these things and externalizing them is a really good way to go. Seek perspective. Talk to somebody you trust about the situation. I always, when, my little white coat syndrome, I always go into the doctor or the nurse and I say, well, here I am, I've got this. And I lay it out on the table, because then if I do that, instead of sitting there and worrying about it, 9 times out of 10, my blood pressure looks pretty normal. But when I keep it all bottled up inside and try to smile and pretend everything's okay, it's not. It increases the anxiety and the thoughts that I'm having within myself. So talking to somebody you trust, like for me, that's the nurse or the doctor there, is a good idea. For you, it may be your spouse. It may be a good friend, maybe your coach, maybe a therapist, but talk to somebody and get the right perspective. Ask questions. Question your own assumptions and beliefs around this situation. Challenge the negative or irrational thoughts with questions like, is this thought based on evidence? What alternative explanations exist? These are things that are really, really important, because you know what? Quite often you can be telling yourself not really a lie, but a distortion of the actuality. So you need to ask yourself questions around this to discover the clarity. Consider the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture here? Reflect on how this situation fits into your life as a whole. Will it matter in the long run? This can help you to prioritize and also gain perspective over what actually is going on. Set your boundaries. Determine what aspects of the situation you can control and what you can't. Focus on what you can influence and let go of what is beyond your control. We've got a few more of these, but I am actually going to handle the rest of them in tomorrow's issue, because I want you to go back and listen to this again and write these down. Pause the video and write it down so that you can get these things in your tool, your arsenal tool, to actually be there for you the next time you're facing a negative situation or a situation that comes along that just punches you in the gut. And you can start to get the clarity and the truth about the situation instead of the story your brain is trying to tell you. Okay, well, that's it for me today. And I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday. And we're going to finish up some of this list. Okay, bye for now. You have a great rest of the day.